Hi, good evening, Phillies fans, and welcome to yet another better late than ever version of the Fighting's Final here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. Once again, your boy Matty B on the call, and I am here to report we have an opportunity now to take the series. First, due to the 6-4 win over the Nationals, the Phillies tonight, Edmundo Sosa, the big hit, the 3-run jack, Harrison Bader with 3 hits, Trey Turner has another home run, his second home run. But the big story of the night has got to be the reemergence or the rejuvenation of one Aaron Nola, who pitched definitely a lot more like the Aaron Nola we need to see, and especially we'll get into the Zach Wheeler news, the big bombshell that dropped prior to the game starting. We're going to need Aaron Nola, and tonight he takes many steps in the right direction of sort of assuaging that, as the Phillies are going to have to figure out to make up some lost production along the way, especially with pitching. But we'll get into the pitching situation, the Zach Wheeler situation as we progress. But 6-4 tonight is your win. The Phillies get the series even at 1, have a chance tomorrow afternoon to take the series from the lowly Washington Nationals. And how is everybody doing tonight? Joe Hale, what's going on? Says great win tonight. Joe, it's always a great win. Eagles fan coming right in with a man close to my heart, saying that they almost blew the game. Almost ain't good enough. What's that? Almost doesn't count. It only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, they say. They got the win, all right? And it's to be honest with you, if they didn't get the win, I was completely won over today by the pitching performance by Aaron Nola, because that's what I'm looking at. I'm not necessarily, and I know it's stupid to say it when we haven't clinched or won anything at this point, but I am so in the mindset that this team's going to make the playoffs either way, barring a complete disaster. That a blown win tonight, might have pissed me off, but it was inside the numbers that pleased me tonight, and especially with the Aaron Nola situation. Again, on top of what we heard earlier, with the loss of Zach Wheeler now out for the next 6 to 8 months. Good God. Hopefully we'll have him ready for spring training. Having Nola pitch somewhat like Nola, the Nola that we've seen before, based on what we've seen all season, and especially last week when he came out and got shelled by the same Nationals team. But to see him come back and have that kind of effort tonight, 6 serviceable innings. Again, I'm not going to say dominant or strong, serviceable, right? I mean, there's definitely more work to be done. But based on what we saw last week and what we've seen over the season, of his phantom stint on the IR and all that, and to see this kind of performance tonight, it's got to make your heart feel good, regardless if they won or lost. But they just happened to pull it off, and they won. But you're right. They kind of almost blew it, I guess. Noah looked good. He did. Absolutely look good. So let's get into this game. Again, I'm late on the switch here, and I apologize. But Phillies on the night, 6, or Nationals on the day, 4 runs, 9 hits, no errors. Phillies 6 runs on 8 hits, and they did commit an error. I already kind of told you the offensive standouts for the Phillies. Trey Turner goes 1 for 3, but the big one was a homer, his second home run of the year. Kyle Schwarber, a no-burger. Bryce Harper, a no-burger. Blah, 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 blah. Let's get right down to Harrison Bader. 3 for 4 tonight, Bader was, with a run scored. He also had a strikeout. And then the big hit heard round the world, Edmundo Sosa's 3-run home run. Finishes the night 1 for 3 with 3 RBIs. And the game, kind of the ice clincher, or it wasn't the ice clincher, but like the push ahead type home runs for the Phillies. For the Nationals, Wood had 2 hits. Abrams had a hit. Josh Bell 0 for 3. Garcia had 2 hits, or 3 hits. He was 3 for 4 tonight with 2 RBIs, including the homer that he hit, accounting for half of the Nationals offense. House also had himself an RBI in a losing cause for the Nationals. James Woods, C.J. Abrams, and Dylan Cruz, man. Those are 3 players that I would love to have on the Phillies. I think all 3 of them were acquired in the C.J. Abrams trade, or at least 2 of them were. I'm not sure if Wood was part of that trade. I know Cruz and Abrams were. I don't know if Cruz or if Wood was, but there are 3 young players that are going to be pains in the ass for the Phillies and the rest of the National League for years to come, as Washington continues to rebuild from yet another disaster of a strip down. Pitching, Nola gets the win. He's now 2-7, lowers that ERA by about 20 points, or actually, I should say 40 points. He lowered the ERA from 40 points. Went into the game with a 6.92 ERA, comes out of it with a 6.52. Went 6 serviceably / strong innings, 5 hits, 3 runs. 2 of them were earned, 1 walk, and 6 very important strikeouts. But yes, baby steps, I guess, with Aaron Nola. He did give up 2 home runs, which Aaron Nola will have a tendency to do. And but if I can get 6 innings out of him, 97 pitches, a little high, but if I can get 6 innings and 6 strikeouts and only 2 earned runs, I guess I can take the 2 home runs. Or 2 runs, I guess I can take the 2 home runs. I don't think we're ever going to get Nola away from hitting home runs off him. Nola's just a home run hitting off a machine. But, we did give up those 2 homers. But that's not good. But baby steps. The fact that he lasted 6 innings and he struck out 6 is kind of what I'm looking at. Parker with the loss, 5 innings. By the way, Nola, that was his second win of the season. Parker with the loss, 5 innings, 6 hits. They give up 6 runs. They were all earned, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, 2 home runs as well given up by Parker. Robertson, Strawn, Kirkering, and Yon Duran comes in and quiets down the critics there with the save, as he blew that save last night, but he gets the save tonight, his 23rd. Rabata and Plinkton pitched as well for the Nationals in a losing effort. Realmuto would get the scoring going for the Phillies in the 4th. It was a pretty pitching dually kind of game for the first 3 innings, but Realmuto, I should say 3 1/3. Realmuto would get the double and knock Harper in to make it 1-0, and then Bohm would double in Realmuto to make it 2-0, and we would stay there until a little bit later on in that inning when Armando Sosa with the 3-run homer to kind of blow it out a little bit, giving the Phillies a 5-run lead, also a benefit of a 5-run 4th inning. But the Nationals would come right back in the bottom of the top of the 5th, and House would ground in Cruz to make it 5-1. But then Turner would answer in the bottom of the 5th with the solo shot to make it 6-1. C.J. Abrams comes back in the top of the 6th to make it 6-2. Garcia in the top of the 6th to make it 6-3, and then in the top of the 8th, Garcia would double in Wood to make it 6-4, and that's how the Phillies would hold on and win this game. 6-4, your final, and they have even the series up at 1. They can go for the series victory tomorrow. 75-54 now on the season for the Fighting Phillies. So you got to look at it kind of, as I said, I get it. There was some, trepidation. It was kind of, the home runs obviously are not a good thing, but, I just really love what I saw from Nola tonight. And, based on the news that we received earlier in the day, Nola's performance tonight was magnified by about 100%, as we need to see something from him, because if we don't have Aaron Nola and now we don't have Wheeler, I don't know how long we're going to hang around in the playoffs. I really don't. But Nola looked good tonight. Love the use of the bullpen tonight. Yep. How are you, man? I'm well, Mickey. How are you? This is High Eagles fan. Sosa had a big on defense in the 8th. Yeah, Sosa was the man of the day. Kept the Phillies off. I mean, when you're looking at Armando Sosa as the offensive hero of a game, I don't know how you take that, but hey, he has shown time. He has shown abilities more so this season than he has in his entire career to get red hot. And earlier in the season, I mean, he was blistering hot. And he's been pretty consistent when given the opportunity to play. You got to like what you're getting from Armando Sosa this season, specifically at the plate, but you mix in his very above average defense. And yeah, I mean, it's not a bad problem for the Phillies to have, especially with some of the defensive limitations we have on this team at the hot corner position specifically. I'm okay with it. He's batting .263 now on the season. Thanks to, 1 for 3 tonight, but it was a big one. But Armando earning his money this year more so than any other year that he's been here. But You like to see it. So 6-4 is your win, as your final. Phillies with the win. Tomorrow they will go for the series win, and I will also be going for the series win as well, as I'll be back tomorrow for the Fightins final, as well as I have a big day tomorrow. 3 shows that are going to highlight me. Wow. I guess my vacation is over. But tomorrow I'll be back for the Fightins final. Also, tomorrow will be the Down on the Phillies Farm segment, as we are coming down the home stretch of the minor league season. Literally, we got about a month left, and they actually finish, I think, before, like a week before major leagues finish. So we're going to be wrapping up the minor league season. There is one affiliate team right now that's got a legit shot at qualifying for a postseason berth. And there's another one that's on the outside, but looking in, but within striking distance. And we'll talk about all that tomorrow, as well as the players that made the week for you in the Phillies minor league system. So make sure you're there tomorrow during the Fightins final for the Down on the Phillies Farm segment that I enjoy so much in providing. Star Wars chiming in, says good win. Yes, it was. They're always good wins. A win is always good. So let's just say a win. Let's just say a win. I mean, is there such a thing as a bad win? I guess maybe there is. Yeah, there might be. But all right, let's hit the Broad Street bottom line. The Broad Street bottom line tonight on the Fightins final is brought to you by the Happy Valley Huddle. That is right, the Happy Valley Huddle, the Penn State Nittany Lion football postgame show, new to the network, making its debut this coming Saturday, a week from today. Can you believe that? College football started today, by the way. Have anybody checked out any of the games? I did not. But Penn State will kick off their 2025 season next Saturday against the Nevada Wolfpack. Barn burner right off the bat, as the Nittany Lions will make their. I know AP has got them at 25, or at 2. Sorry, the AP 25 has got them at 2. I think I saw a poll where they're also ranked 1 in some places. Anyway, high expectations for the Nittany Lions coming into the 2025 season. Is this the year that James Franklin actually wins a big game? Is this the year that Penn State can take their first national championship step in about 30 years? Is this the year? Well, you'll find all that out, and you'll be able to go week by week with Mike Lauro through the 2025 campaign as Penn State pushes their way to a potential BCS championship game. And Mike will have you every step of the way. So make sure you're tuned into the Happy Valley Huddle every Penn State postgame this season. Broad Street bottom line, simply put, win or loss, to me, it didn't matter. And as I kind of alluded to earlier in the show with the Eagles fan, it all mattered about the performance of one Aaron Nola. And based on the news that we heard today with the loss of Zach Wheeler for the next 6 to 8 months, which I'm still trying to wrap my friggin' head around. But with that news, that bombshell, that ICBM that was dropped on Phillies Nation about 7 hours ago, a performance like this from Nola tonight, it doesn't end all the speculation about Aaron Nola's durability or his pitching future, but it sure as hell softens the blow of losing Zach Wheeler to me. And we need Nola to come out and pitch similar to what he did tonight, or better. And he pitched okay, one of the better starts of his season. Now, I've been on record by saying this every week for the entire season, that pitching to me has never been an issue with this team. I have never worried about the pitching. It's always, to me, about the offense. I still feel that way. I do. But I ain't going to lie. When I heard the news, and based on, don't forget, I hadn't seen Aaron Nola pitch this game yet, and I was building all the information off the Zach Wheeler thing and then processing it all with the fact that Nola last time out got banged around, I was a little concerned. But if Nola can pitch like this or better, can't be any worse than this, but if he can pitch like this or better over the next 6 weeks, we should be okay. And we should still have enough starting pitching heading into the postseason, if, of course, the offense can figure themselves out and continue to be consistent, to continue to hit the all fields, and continue to scratch runs in with those 4-letter words like sacrifice flies. I still think we got the pitching. Is it a big blow to lose Zach Wheeler? Immense. It's huge. It's something that is definitely going to alter the landscape of Major League Baseball in the National League in the postseason. It could. But I think there's enough pitching still here. And if Nola, and yes, Nola is the linchpin to that. And no, I honestly haven't been spending any time on social media. I've been working all night, so I didn't really check on what some of the, and I'm sure it's out there, and I'm sure people have already intonated about bringing Andrew Painter up and saying, to hell with it, we need him. We don't need Andrew Painter. All right. He had a good start the other night, or last night it was, for the Pigs. Andrew Painter should not be part of the fix of losing Zach Wheeler in 2025. Aaron Nola is the fix for losing Zach Wheeler in 2025, not Andrew Painter. Andrew Painter is not going to do nothing to help this team out win a World Series. He's not this year. And so get all the Andrew Painter stuff out of your heads. Again, I have not heard anybody. I have not looked to see. I'm sure people have been talking about it, but I am totally against bringing Andrew Painter into this situation at this particular moment in time based on what he's done this year. Phillies are going to have to sink or swim with Nola, Suarez, Sanchez, Walker, and Luzardo. That's it. It is what it is. There's no trades that can be made. There's nobody stashed away on the waiver wire that's, Dave Dombrowski can bring in here and make a late push for a Cy Young Award candidate. There's none of that happening. It's going to be sinking or swimming with those 5 pitchers. And then when we go into the postseason, one of them will go to the bullpen. Maybe that's Taijuan Walker. Thank God Taijuan Walker turned his career around this year. But I'm still okay with those 5. The key is Nola. And the key is going to be Nola all the way throughout the end of this. It's going to be Nola. We need to have that lockdown number 1. And Nola's going to have to be that guy. Can he be that guy? We'll see. I think he's capable of doing it. Whether or not he actually fulfills doing it, we'll see. But seeing Aaron Nola pitch today, win or loss, was what I needed to see. And I saw it, and I feel better. It's still a kick in the junk to lose Wheeler, but if we get the Nola that we got tonight, or a semblance of it going out the rest of the way, I still think there's enough pitching here to win a World Series. Is the final word going to be on tomorrow? It is. Right now it is. Almost blew it again in the ninth. They did. Hang on. They did. And we can talk about Duran in the last couple of outings that he's had. Is it? 103.3. Where was that at tonight? Where was that last night? But look, I'm not going to. Again, I have to tell you, it's not about the win and loss tonight. It was about Aaron Nola, Dave. It really was, for me at least. And I know some people are, caught up with those pesky W's and L's, but to me, I needed to see Aaron Nola pitch well, and I did. All right, let's address the elephant in the room. The Phillies issued a statement about 7 hours ago. It reads, verbatimly, right-hand pitcher Zach Wheeler had a follow-up evaluation and received second opinions this week after his successful right upper extremity blood clot removal on Monday, August the 18th. Wheeler was diagnosed with a venous thoracic outlet syndrome, and the recommendation is to undergo thoracic outlet decompression surgery in the coming weeks. Details of the surgery are forthcoming. The timeline of recovery from this surgery is generally 6 to 8 months. So yes, this is the bombshell that dropped about 7 hours ago that we all collectively wept over. 6 to 8 months. So yes, good thing is we'll have him back for the tail end of, or the beginning. What is it, right? September, October, November, December, January, February. Yeah, March, April. Listen, he should be able to start spring training in February. Does he come back with the team in April to start the season? We'll see. But say adios to Zach Wheeler in 2025. It's a gut punch. It's a kick to the junk. It's all those things that you want to say, but it's reality. And the Phillies are going to have to deal with it. You're not going to throw away the season, not 130, 129 games in, and say, you know what? Well, we'll just try again next year. You got to roll with what you got. And as I said just 5 minutes ago, I still think there's enough pitching depth on this team. It all still kind of centers around the offense to me. But this is definitely news that it was not anticipated, not expected, and not on anybody's bingo cards when they started the season. Zach Wheeler gone for 6 to 8 months. as he undergoes thoracic outlet decompression surgery. If any medical people out there want to kind of help me out what the hell that is, feel free. But maybe we'll have a thoracic surgeon on next week. Maybe I'll roll the Rolodex of contacts. I'll find a doctor to get him on and talk about that. But there you go. Zach Wheeler gone 6 to 8 months. Whew. Talk about terrible. And this injury with Wheeler's rally, this injury with Wheeler rallies the team. I think this injury rallies the team? Wheeler's injury? It could be. It could. Joe, I'm trying to put it. I think a lot of us are trying to put it all into words, like what exactly we're feeling. I mean, are there any out there that have completely given up? Without Wheeler, we're not going to win. I mean, I can understand if you feel that way. Again, I maintain that there's still enough pitching. If Nola can figure himself out, that's a big if. Hasn't been able to do it all year. But as far as a rally cry, remember Zach Wheeler? Damn the thoracic decompression syndrome. I don't know. I don't know if it's a rally cry or they're going to rally around him. I don't know if there's extra motivation needed. It has to be looked at as a next man up mentality. Aaron Nola has to look at it like, okay, Wheeler's down. I got to be the ace. I got to do it. I'm getting paid ace-like money. I got to be the ace. There's no more ifs, ands, and buts about it. I got to go out there and pitch like my life depends on it. So if that's a rally, yeah. But I like Wheeler's injury would be a reality around this team, that they have to accept the reality that he's gone, and you can't quit on the season at this point when you haven't even won anything, and you're so close to actually getting back to the playoffs and trying to win a World Series, because these World Series and these opportunities, unfortunately, and we know this more than any other city in the free world, don't come around too often. And they're in a window. And that window has not been maximized up to this point. We're running out of time. We lost our ace. We're going to lose a bunch of key pieces to this team in the free agency next year. And what is Wheeler going to look like next year? Can't be looking at the future, man. You got to look at the past, at the present today, and what you have to do in order to win now. And we're beyond the trade deadline now. Mick Abel definitely popped into my head today. I ain't gonna lie. I was thinking about Mick Abel. Not in a way of like, man, you know what? Damn, if we just had Abel. I'm giving him way too much credit. But boy, it would be all right to have Mick Abel laying around just to get us through the season. I'm not saying he's going to come in there and help us out the postseason, but damn. But yeah, Mick Abel did pop into my head today. What are you trying to say, Joe? I think will it rally them? Which starter are you most confident with this team going forward now that Wheeler is out? Just curious. It's got to be Sanchez, the one that's really kind of stepped up to this point to be that guy. He's pitched like that guy all season long. And again, if it's something like this is going to happen, a depth rotation like this, I mean, the one thing the Phillies have had all season long has been an abundance of starting pitching. And they're getting it in all different levels. Sanchez has been a pleasant surprise. I don't subscribe to the Chris Sanchez, Cy Young stuff. I don't think he's pitching like that. But he's definitely pitching and earning every cent of that contract extension he signed last year. So that is definite. And he's been the most reliable starter all season. And he needs to step it up. But if you're asking me who should I feel most confident about, it's got to be the 1B ace himself, Aaron Nola. It's going to all go back to Nola, Dave, for me. Nola's the most tenured member of this staff. He's the highest paid member of the staff. He's been billed as an ace. He's got ace-like stuff. He was the next Cole Hamels a long time ago. That's the player we all should feel the most confident in. Now, whether or not you do, I can totally understand if you don't. But that's the key here. The key is Nola. It's got to be Nola. Nola's got to step it up. And but to ask me who I feel the most confident in, is obviously got to be Chris Sanchez. But it's got to be Nola. Got to be Nola. All right, let's take a rip around Major League Baseball on this Saturday night. Let's go around the bases. All right, here's your trip around the bases on this Saturday night. Games that have gone final. It was 12-1 Red Sox all over the Yankees in the Bronx. Final in 12 innings, it was 7-6 Blue Jays over the Marlins. Tigers 4-2 over the Royals. The Pirates 5-1 winners over the Rockies. It was 9-8 Astros over the O's. The Rangers blanked the Guardians 10-0, and it was 7-3 White Sox over Twins. 7-1 Giants over the Brewers, and the Mets won. So thank God we won. They beat the Braves 9-2. It was 10-1 Arizona over Cincinnati, and the Padres beat the Dodgers 5-1. Games that are currently still ongoing, and there's a couple of them. It is 12-0 Cubs over the Angels out there in the Big A, and 1-1 Athletics and Mariners as they move to the bottom of the 7th out in Seattle. The game in Anaheim is going to the bottom of the 7th, as well as the Cubs are all over the Anaheim Angels 12-0. Tomorrow, the Phillies will be back at it at 1:35. Jake Irvin will get to start for the Nationals, and he'll be opposed by another pitcher that we need to see more consistency from. He had a really good start his last time out. He needs to continue it. Ranger Suarez will get the pill tomorrow for the Phillies. 1:35 start at the bank. Be there or be square. And then make sure you're back here after for the Fightins final with me. Once again, I'll be pulling double duty this weekend as your Fightins final host. Looking for win number 30. Win number 30 on the season with a win tomorrow. Brewers keep losing. They do. That 14-game winning streak is so far in the rear view. Let's look at set standings on this Saturday night. Let's start in the American League. It's the Blue Jays still 5 games up on the Boston Red Sox in the East of the American League. Detroit's pretty much wrapped up the Central. They have an 11.5 game lead over the Royals. In the West, Houston now has pulled out a 2.5 game lead over the Seattle Mariners and the AL West. In the National League, the Phillies six games now over the Mets as both teams won tonight. In the Central, the Cubs are 6.5 games behind the Brewers, so that's pretty much a done division as well. And it is the Dodgers and Padres all knotted up in the NL West on this Saturday night. Looking at wild cards, currently the American League wild cards are Boston, New York, and Seattle, with Kansas City just 3.5 off the pace. Cleveland now fading a little bit, 4.5 off. In the National League, it's the Cubs, Dodgers, and Mets. The Reds now 2.5 back as they've fallen off a bit on a current 3-game losing streak. And the Diamondbacks are creeping into the picture. But when you talk about the Diamondbacks and the Cardinals and Giants, they were all sellers at the deadline. So I'm not really even using them as a relative thing here. But there you go. There's your playoff standings as we move, or your standings as we move deeper into this. Phillies winners tonight. Remember, here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network, we got you covered when all aspects of a busy Sunday. Let's talk about what's going to happen tomorrow. First and foremost, at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, you got the P&M and the AM program. Al and Mike will be taking you through that. And then right after that, sometime in the afternoon, I will be back with the Fightins final. And then tomorrow night at 7, I'll be back along with Mike Lauro doing your 2024-25 Flyers season review show at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. And then after that, at 10 o'clock, you got me again. The trifecta of Matty B tomorrow. The final word will be making its return first day of our broadcast week. So be on the lookout for a Matty B Sunday here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. Can't wait. And then all the other great shows that, of course, we do have here on the network. The Attacking Third every Thursday at 9. The Wraparound, I believe, with Pat Bernard is coming back next Friday at 10:30. I think he said he was doing it. And then some of the shows on the kind of horizon. I already mentioned the Happy Valley Huddle, but don't forget the Birds Flyby now is geared towards opening night against the Dallas Cowboys at the link as the Eagles will begin their title defense. And this is Super Bowl 60, man. Good God. Super Bowl 60. As the Eagles will start their defense against the Cowboys on the 4th of September. And then on the 2nd of September at 7 p.m., season 6 premiere of the Birds Blast with Kyle Quinn makes his triumphant return, and me and Kyle will give you the most quintessential Eagle pregame show you can think of every week as we move through the seasons. This and a lot more, much more happening on the network. Phillies win 6-4. Aaron Nola pitches serviceable / good. Zach Wheeler gone 6 to 8 months. And do you burn the boats? Do you give up? Or do you push forward and deal with that big A adversity? I think they have no other choice but to push forward and deal with the big A adversity. So we'll talk again tomorrow. Big day on the network. 4 shows tomorrow on the network. So make sure you're tuned in bright and early at 9 a.m. for the PNM and the AM program, and then everything else that will follow it throughout your day. I wish you a pleasant rest of your evening. And before I go, one person I got to hear from, you know who it is? Harry the K. What you got?